We're going to discuss briefly unemployment and take a look at a few viable solutions to that dilemma if a person is facing it. I'm going to make this real short and sweet. But first, let's look at this.
The problem of high unemployment is a problem that dates back to the civil rights movement, and civil rights activists identified this as one of their major issues.
Just miles from a monument dedicated to Dr. King, thousands of black residents in Washington, D.C. pound the pavement in search of jobs.
Of the major groups, the African American unemployment rate is the highest. It's has run at about twice as high of the white rate since the 1960s.
Dr. Algernon Austin says the economic crisis is crushing the black community with a jobless rate of almost 15%. If you think the problem only persists among the uneducated or unskilled,
even if an African American has a college degree, that African American is going to be 1.5 to 2 times as likely to be unemployed as a white person with the same degree.
Dr. Austin cites two main reasons:
prejudice and discrimination in the labor market. Studies have shown, or researchers have found, that when you send out a black and white applicant, the white receives more callbacks for interviews and receives more job offers. We need to acknowledge that the problem exists. We need to encourage employers to work against the stereotypes and the biases.
Okay, now, first of all, I agree that we do need to acknowledge that the problem exists.
We need to encourage employers to work against the stereotypes and the biases.
Yes, that's absolutely true. We do need to acknowledge that the problem exists, and it does in fact exist. But on this video, I want to talk about possible solutions. Okay, now we definitely need to acknowledge that the problem does in fact exist, and if there is 15% unemployment within the black community in the United States, and if that is over twice the unemployment ratio of the unemployed whites, and they're complaining and they're whining about the joblessness and the lack of jobs. But if it's twice as bad within any community, certainly it's a problem. I mean, it's a problem for anyone. And I don't care if it's 1%, it is a problem. Now, the question is, what do we do about that problem? How do we handle that problem? You know? And the best person that could answer that is any individual that is affected by it. Now, if I have a problem, it doesn't matter too much. It's not going to really change my reality, how you may see the problem, or whether or not you see the problem, or whether or not the problem is large and pervasive, or whether or not it's rather isolated. I don't care if it's a 1/2 of 1%. If I am that 1/2 of 1% and there is a problem, you might say, well, you know, joblessness is not that bad because we only have 1/2 of 1% that are affected by it. Well, if I am that 1/2 of 1%, then I care. I give a damn about it. And I also am going to be cognizant of the fact that it is up to me to try to find a solution to that problem. Now, that's not what people typically want to hear. Okay? They want to, and like I said, I'm acknowledging the fact that certainly there is pervasive racism. I've been affected by it myself. We all have. Most of us have anyway. I know that I have. But that doesn't have to be an insurmountable problem. You have to acknowledge any problem, address it, and then try to figure out how you're going to deal with it. And the best way you deal with any problem is to create a situation so that it is no longer a problem. And there are lots of ways we can do that. Okay, so I'm not going to waste any time on this video bemoaning the problem itself, or the fact that a lot of African Americans are not being hired, or black people in general, because the economy is down and they're giving preferential treatment to other people who look more like them. That's understandable that is going to happen, and it's a reality that it is happening. Okay, but what I try to do, what I've tried to do, I've only touched on it just a tiny bit. I've really just touched on the subject I'm about to discuss just a little bit to see how much interest there was. And frankly, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interest, at least not from the people that watch my videos. And that's going to determine how much time I invest in talking about something like this. But I've mentioned in some videos that I started a particular business. I've started a number, but I started a particular business at about 19 years old, based on something I learned from working a little part-time job for a company selling pretzels on Venice Beach in Venice, California. And it occurred to me from day one, after I saw the money that I was bringing in for this company, and I was only getting a commission based on what I would sell, it occurred to me that I could make a lot more money if I started a similar business. It also occurred to me that I could do exactly what the owner of this company was doing, because I was basically doing the work. I was the one out there making the sales, making the money. It's just that, and there was a lot that I had to learn, and I did learn it over time. So I made up my mind that I was going to learn everything I could, and I was going to start this business. So what I want to do, and this is a possible solution, and to me, it's probably the best solution for a lot of people, and that is to get out of the trap of feeling that the only way you can take care of yourself or your family is for someone to give you a job. Let me tell you a reality. I know people don't want to hear this, but it's a fact. Nobody, and I mean nobody, owes you a job. I have hired a number of people in my life, either as a manager or a supervisor for other companies I've worked for, or in my own businesses. I've hired a lot of people, but I've never done it so that I could give them a job. I did it so that I could fulfill something that I needed or that the company I work for needed. That's why we do it. We hire people because we need people to do some work. Okay? That's important to understand. These jobs are not created so that you can have a job. They are created because they're out of necessity. If a company is going to grow, it's going to need people to do work. So, in essence, what I want to say, and this is the basic point of this video, anyone can always get hired by the one person that will never discriminate against them and will also pay you what you are worth. They will never discriminate against you. They will always hire you. They will hire you today, and they will pay you what you are worth. And that person is yourself. Now, don't balk at that. That is legitimate employment. Because when you fill out a tax return, they want to know who your employer is. If you are self-employed, that's just as valid as if you are employed by McDonnell Douglas or IBM or Lockheed or anywhere else. You are employed by yourself. Okay? And some people don't want to be paid what they're worth because they don't really feel that they're worth that much. And maybe you're not, but you can always change that too. Okay? I'm going to talk about a basic, simple concept, and I'm going to give you a roadmap to actually get started. For those that might be interested, and if it's just one person, I don't expect to get a lot of views on this video, but if at least one person will get some type of motivation or inspiration, whether you do this or some other type of business, then the few minutes I spend making this video will have been worth it. Okay? And I mentioned previously on a video how I started this business, this vending business, and I basically started with no money, and I talked someone into leasing me their equipment for $75 a week. I talked another person I didn't know into letting me use their apartment to store the equipment out on Venice Beach. And I think I was also paying them weekly. I got a moratorium on the first payment, so I didn't have to make any payments on the pretzel cart or the big floor freezer that I purchased. I did not have to make any payments on it for 30 days, so that gave me time to actually start making money. But anyway, the business basically has to do with the fact that, in fact, I'll tell you what, I'm not even going to tell you about it. What I'm going to do is just show you a video, and then I'll discuss it in the end, and what you do is up to you.
Well, hello, I'm Ben, and for the next little bit, I'm going to share with you some information about the hot dog business. You're probably here because you've been laid off or downsized, or maybe you just want to create an extra income. Einstein said that the definition of insanity was doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. If you need to get different results in your life, you'll need to change what you've been doing. I didn't become a hot dog vendor because I always wanted a hot dog cart. I found this business after losing everything, and I mean everything. In just a second, I'll share that story with you. And after we watch all the free training videos, you'll probably still have some questions. So to help, I and some of my dearest hot dogger friends have a weekly live internet radio show where you can call in and get help from hundreds of vendors. It's free and can be found by searching Hot Dog Vendor Radio. You will love it, I promise. It gets even better. You can call, text, or email me anytime. I do get a lot of calls every day, so be sure to watch the free videos first. In these videos, you're going to find out if this business is for you. You'll find out how much you can make, how to get started, all about commissaries, how to find a used cart, how to find the best new cart. I'll even discuss locations, licensing, and how to grow your business to multiple carts. All in all, you're going to have questions answered you didn't even know you had. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to, in as soon as 2 weeks, go from being broke to making a real good living. In 2007, I had a chain of furniture stores. Business was booming, and I was making tons of money. I don't know if you noticed, but the economy collapsed, and I lost about 2.5 tons of money. Cars, trucks, a plane, a 100-acre farm, and all of my animals gone. I had lost everything. We still had 5 children in the home, and so all 7 of us moved into a 2-bedroom, single-wide trailer. I tried my hand at car sales and even tire sales, and was barely putting food on the table. And because my kids are spoiled, they felt like they had to eat every single day. One day, I ran across a story of a family that had lost everything, and they recovered with a hot dog cart. And so for the next few weeks, I begged, borrowed, and stole all I could to get a hot dog cart. After selling anything and everything that wasn't nailed down, I got my first cart. And within 7 weeks, I had 3 carts. All of this paid for by the profits off the first cart. So keep watching, and I'll walk you step by step on how to avoid all the mistakes I made. And there were many. You'll be miles ahead of yourself had you just decided to jump in feet first. I know it's not that entertaining, and I'm probably making you miss Oprah, but bear with me. Follow these steps, and you'll not have to work for someone else ever again. This business ain't for everyone. So in the next video, we'll go through the good, bad, and ugly so that you can make an informed decision.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is give you a link to this guy's webpage. And the video you just saw is one of a number of videos that are on his webpage. And what they do is they make and design hot dog carts. They also have a blueprint so you can build your own. I think they're selling that for $100. So yes, they are motivated by a number of things, including the fact that they stand to potentially make some money if you are interested. If you're not interested, so be it. If nothing else, perhaps you will be motivated. Myself, personally, I have no dog in this fight. I'm not in any way affiliated or connected with this guy. And I just thought it would be some useful information to share. Because I'm really, frankly, sick and tired of people not exercising their options and their potential, or even seeing or having an ability to see how many options they have, how many innumerable options they have if they would just take advantage of them. Okay? And don't be one of the people who says, well, he's probably trying to sell me a hot dog stand. I don't have any money for a hot dog stand. How many times do I have to tell you, when I started my pretzel business, which is exactly like a hot dog business, the only difference is instead of selling hot dogs, we were selling pretzels, hot pretzels, with a stand which looks a lot like a hot dog stand. And it wasn't long. I mean, it wasn't long. I went from 1 to eventually I had 7. I also had another stand where we were selling frozen chocolate bananas, and then I had I was co-managing a skate rental and a yogurt stand, all on Venice Beach, all at the age of 19 to 20. Okay, and I was doing quite well. So the point is that the opportunities are out there. This might not be for you, but whether it is for you or not, do you realize that the only reason I'm showing you this video, the only reason I'm talking about this, is because I did a little search on YouTube to try to find out what was out there. I don't have any hot dog stands. I don't need any hot dog stands. I don't want any hot dog stands. I did that business many years ago. Now I'm involved in many other types of businesses, totally unrelated. Okay, but the main thing is that I can attest to the fact that the money is out there to be made. Yes, there's a lot you need to know, but you can learn what you need to know for free. There's people trying to give you information. This guy's video has a lot of information. He has, his website, it has a lot of information. He has a weekly radio program. Like he said, you can email him. You can call him on the telephone. He's going to give you his phone number. Okay, it's not going to cost you anything to talk to somebody that's doing something and consider whether or not it might be for you. Okay? Like I said, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. But I can guarantee you that this guy out here on this street corner selling these hot dogs is earning a lot more money than most of his customers are. I would say that based upon the amount of traffic that he's getting right here, that he's probably clearing at least $400 per day. And I do mean in profit. That's after subtracting his expenses. And I'm actually giving you a low estimate. So it's conceivable if he only works 5 days a week. Why do you think he's so happy? You think if he was making minimum wage, he would be so happy doing what he's doing? This guy might be making $2,000 a week, $8,000 a month. And that's with one stand. When I did my pretzel business, eventually I had 7 stands. I had 6 pretzel stands and 1 other type of stand. And I never worked them anymore. I had other people doing the work. I know the type of money that could be made. I was in California. He looks like he's in New York, Chicago, or someplace. But the main thing is, go to the website, check it out for yourself. Whether you're interested in it or not, if you like this type of information, these type of videos, if you want to see more, let me know. I'm a little bit frustrated right now because I don't know. I mean, I was talking to someone I know personally who is kind of in a rut, and it's really irritating when you try to help people and they know damn well you know what you're talking about. They see what you are doing. They know for a fact. They don't know all the details, and I'm not going to tell you all the details. This is someone I know personally that they know for a fact you know what you're talking about. But they just keep making excuses and they won't shut up and listen, take good advice and run with it. Because if they did, they would be out of the rut they're in within a very short period of time. That is the difference between success and failure, the mindset we have. So, I don't know. It's always been important to me to give back, to help people if I can, but you can't help people that don't want to help themselves, and it's frustrating. It really is. I mean, it's frustrating to know that if someone would just listen, that their whole life could change. And they don't have to be in poverty and misery. But they, people's ego will not allow them to admit to their shortcomings and listen. I think I might make a video showing you people that watch these videos. I want you to see. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to let you see for yourself all of the material that I have invested in. And I'll show it to you. Courses, workbooks, workshops, seminars, videos, audios, learning from any and everyone that had something to say that might possibly benefit me. I have invested my time and my money and put my money where my mouth is, investing in knowledge so that I could get to where I am now and where I will be in the future, because I'm always in a state of progress and self-improvement, and that's what people should be doing. You have the most valuable commodity in the universe, and you have that commodity on your side, and that commodity is time. How we use it and how we spend it and how we invest it is going to directly affect what we get out of this life. So why not invest a fair amount of your time on things that might improve the quality of your life? And with that, I'm going to close this video.